Movie friends, welcome back to the channel. Doing another Dead Meat reaction, and this is going to be for, you guessed it, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Rob Zombie's H2, whatever you want to call it. The worst in the franchise, in my opinion. Look, I know this movie has acclaimed a cult following and is still growing, and people are actually beginning to enjoy it more. The last time I watched this movie, I was a tad drunk or buzzed, and I watched it with Michael. Actually, you can watch our commentary on YouTube, where we were drinking a little bit and we sat down and watched it. And dude, I couldn't get into it. I tried to get into it, and though the alcohol might have helped a little bit, I still can't get over a lot of stuff. And I'm pretty sure I watched the director's cut. I don't think it was the theatrical one I watched. I think it was the director's cut. But anyways, it was still a shit show of a movie, and I hardly enjoyed it at all. The only things I can pull out of it that I really enjoyed was Tyler Mane. Well, he was good. Sheriff Brackett, Brad Dourif is the highlight of that movie. And he made that movie for what it was, a decent watch. I mean, his performance itself was the only thing that was actually worth watching in that film. I didn't care for it. I just didn't. So we're going to go ahead and watch Dead Meat. We'll see what James has to say about it. If I had to give the best kill in the movie, I'd probably go with probably Annie's death. And maybe it's because what it leads to is possibly one of the best breakdown moments ever in film history, I would say. And it was pretty emotional. For what the movie was, that death scene was pretty emotional. So her death might be the best one in the film, and if I had to give a least favorite, oh god, probably the woman who tries to defend Michael, like her boyfriend or husband, or I don't know who they were, but like some rednecks go out to this field and beat the shit out of Michael, and there's a woman. Her death was kind of underwhelming, or at least one of the least memorable ones in the film, so I'd probably give it to her, but I can't remember all the deaths. Or the nurse. The nurse in the beginning was actually a really good death too, who gets just fucking brutalized by Michael. Anyways, let's go ahead and watch this video and see what James has to say about it. So 3, 2, 1. All right, let's see what you have to say, James.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, released in 2009 as a sequel to his 2007 remake. Originally, Rob Zombie didn't want to do this movie, saying he was too exhausted from making the first one, but he eventually agreed to it, not only because of, money, but also because producer Malika Akkad told him they were taking the reins off. Now he could make a Rob Zombie Halloween movie as Rob Zombie-ish as he wanted to.
And it was.
That's why this movie is much closer stylistically to Zombie's other films than his first Halloween, even if the content is largely the same. That is, a behemoth Michael Myers brutally murdering lots of people, including several naked chicks. And when I say these murders are brutal, I mean it. For my money, this is the single goriest movie in the franchise, which is why I had to leave out some of the most explicit shots, or else YouTube would slap me with an age restriction. However, there is an uncut version of this kill count available on my Patreon for any and all supporters. And don't get upset about that, man. We did the same thing for Saw, and it worked out just fine. Shot on 16mm film to give it that extra grindhouse grain, this movie at first may just seem like
it's a good-looking movie
remake of the original Halloween 2 from 1981, the one set in a hospital. But it quickly becomes its own movie that explores more of Michael's backstory, as well as how Laurie and Dr. Loomis are recovering from the events of the first film. Once again, there are two different versions of this movie, and once again, I'll be using the theatrical one for the kill count. You know the drill by now, though. Tomorrow, we'll have a cut comparison looking at the differences. In the meantime, let's get to the kills.
Okay, here we go.
The movie begins at the Smiths Grove Sanitarium. Get it? Santa?
Damn.
Christmas time? Deborah Myers is here to give a white horse statue or something to her son Michael, now played by a different grungy little kid. Original actor Dave Fairch had just gotten too big since they made the first movie. Not in like a famous kind of way, he was just like really tall. Michael tells her about a dream he had where Deborah was dressed all in white.
Like a ghost. like a really beautiful ghost.
And in that ghostly dream, she had a white horse that looked just like this toy. Hope all that sounds super interesting to you, because we'll be coming back to it a lot. After that cold open, we're 15 years later again, picking up immediately after the ending of the first movie. Scout Taylor Strode is walking through the streets, covered in blood and carrying a gun, until Sheriff Brackett is able to catch up with her and try to calm her down. She's taken to a hospital, where she very fearfully asks if she's gonna make it.
Am I gonna die? Am I gonna die? Am I gonna die?
Damn, that's intense. Looks like she's not gonna die, but in order to save her, the doctors, led by Caroline Williams,
brutal
are gonna have
scenes,
to perform
man.
a whole bevy of medi stuff, which is of course all done in real graphic close-ups. Meanwhile, Sheriff Brackett is cleaning up the crime
nasty.
scene, which includes
Yikes.
getting the still-living Loomis into an ambulance and taking care of the corpses. When it comes to Michael, they strap him to a gurney and put him in a van that's driven by coroners Alan Hooks and Gary Scott. Looks like Gary graduated from the Axel Academy of Coroner Creepery.
You gotta look at the naked chick. She still look good to me. Nice old titties are hanging out.
Ah, what the? There's always one.
I hate
no?
that.
What's
I
the
hate
difference
that.
between jam?
It's Rob Zombie's dialogue.
You can't jelly your cock up with that girl's ass.
Or I guess two, if we're in a Rob Zombie movie. We need these two dudes to die, and since Michael's still passed out, it's gonna take some bovine intervention. Holy cow, what a crash! It fucks the van up good and kills Hooks in the process, and the movie milks his death for all it's worth. That is one crushed effing skull, dude. Gary is also seriously messed up from the crash. In fact, it seems to have knocked his entire vocabulary unconscious, except for a single word.
Fuck! 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 Fuck!
He's gonna fuck some more after he finds out Michael frickin' Myers lived through that cow crash just fine. Still wearing his mask, he grabs a piece of glass from the wreckage and calmly walks over to the passenger seat of the van, where he uses it to not only slit Gary's throat, but actually saw his head off entirely. If you didn't believe me about this being the goriest Halloween, it's not my fault. I tried to give you a heads up. But Michael loses interest in this noggin when he sees a vision of a white horse and his dead mom standing in the middle of the road. All these dreams and visions of white ponies? Maybe Michael's just a huge Deftones fan. In the hospital, Lori gets herself out of bed and
I
finds
can't get
Annie
into
on
that.
life support
I
in
can't.
another room. She wants to stay with her stitched up friend, but Nurse Daniels, played by Academy Award winner Octavia Spencer, insists that she go back to her own room for rest. Nurse Daniels is called away on the PA, but she doesn't stay a hidden figure for long. She reappears shortly with a real nasty looking face slash that could only have been done by the Shape of Slaughter. Lori gets the hell out of there as Michael comes around the corner, and he's not here to give Nurse Daniels the help. Instead,
This is a
slowly walks
brutal
over to her
kill.
and kills her in a brutal manner by aggressively stabbing her in the back at least 10 times.
It's a good kill.
Damn, dude. I don't think she's gonna be able to get on up after that one. As Lori tries to escape,
It's a good kill.
she comes across another kill.
I got it. I'll give it that.
Now, this nurse lady, I think, who's missing her eyeballs and whose body is doubling as an obstacle to slow Lori down. She's able to get around her all right, though. So, you know what? Next time, try a little harder with your body barriers, Mikey. We're in the midst of a standard Halloween chase scene now, complete with recreated shots from the original Halloween 2, until Lori winds up outside and Michael winds up with a free axe for the taking. Smashy, smashy. Lori makes her way through the rain to a little security booth that she gets inside of and hides in, as Michael comes outside to get drenched in the downpour as well. God, he's gotta smell something awful by now. This smelly mountain man gets another victim for the taking when Buddy the Night Watchman shows up, played by Swamp Tour enthusiast Richard
This guy's
Ryle.
so
He finds
likable.
Lori and tells her everything is going to be okay, but I wouldn't jump to conclusions like that, bud, because after he pulls the car up to the booth, Michael appears and hacks him in the back. Damn it, Michael, I know his job seemed a little unnecessary, but he had people skills. He was good at dealing with people. What the hell is wrong with you, Michael? It doesn't take long for Michael to huff and puff and
Poor
hack
Buddy.
this booth down so he can get to Lori. But when he gets inside and goes for an overhead swing on her, she wakes up screaming in bed? Wait, what? How much of that was just a dream? Probably just the hospital scene, though I'ma still count those kills because they were real enough for Lori, who 1 year later is still having to remind herself that she's safe now.
He's fucking dead.
Should we tell her now or wait? Wait? Yeah, let's wait. Nowadays, Lori is living with the Brackets, which is great since it's an excuse to have more Danielle Harris and Brad Dourif. Their extra screen time in this sequel is definitely one of the movie's highlights. Lori's emotional recovery
I agree with that. I agree.
is helped along by her therapist Barbara Collier, played by kill count veteran and all-around kick-ass lady Margot Kidder, rest in peace. Lori's also trying to get by with a little help from her friends. New friends, since, you know, a lot of her old ones were murdered. These new future victims work at a music store with Lori. There's caring and considerate Maya and raunchy party girl Harley. They're three great friends. See how they rock? Speaking of rock, let's meet back up with Dr. Sam Loomis, who at this point is acting like a rock star with a no brown M&M's rider.
Well, I'm not going in there until you go get me cup of PG tips with a splash of milk, and I want it sizzling hot.
He gives a lecture to promote
I hate
his new
this
book
fucking
about the
Loomis.
events
I
of the
hate
previous
this
film,
Loomis.
But after he gets a cue asking if Michael Myers might still be alive, he explodes in a fit of rage, swearing that it's impossible. Even though some scenes intercut with this show that Mountain Man Myers is indeed still alive and walking through a field right now. Oh fuck, we're back to that ghost mom shit? Come on, what are we doing here?
Michael, Halloween is coming. You have to get ready.
Ah, this is getting out of hand. Now there are two of him. Michael is found walking around that field by more beloved characters, namely Mark Boone Jr. playing a dude named Floyd, and Pulp Fiction's Dwayne Whitaker playing Floyd's son-in-law Sherman. They own these here fields and don't like
These
trespassers
guys, yeah.
on them. So they take a crowbar and a bat and beat the crap out of Michael. Damn, it might be the only moment in this movie I actually feel bad for Mikey. Floyd's daughter Jasleen, played by Betsy Rue of My Bloody Valentine 3D, also feels bad for Mikey and stops the beatdown from continuing. But the damage is done and Michael is frickin' pissed. Like, put that Shatner mask back on kind of pissed.
He took it
kills the
off.
two
That
men in
pisses
quick
me off.
succession. First, Sherman gets a knife slit across the eyes, and then
As a
Michael
Michael
turns his
fan, it's
attention
just
to
like, why would he
Floyd,
take the
who starts
mask off?
with a knife in the belly. Michael then impales Floyd onto the deer antlers decorating the hood of his vehicle, and then goes back to finish off Sherman with his trademark super series of stabbings. Damn, guys, you should have brought out the GIMP for backup. At this point, Michael is growling like an animal, and even though Jasleen was good to you, Mikey, that doesn't stop him from dragging her out of the truck and killing her. Wow, Michael, are you out of shape? Because that was a grunt, a deep inhalation of oxygen to aid in the stretching of muscles. I know what that sound signifies. There's also a dog in the truck, but thankfully, the movie cuts away before we see what happens to it. Just kidding, Michael murders that poor pup, but I'll be nice and not show you the part where he stabs and then eats it. Yeah, Michael eats that dog, but don't act so surprised, he's been doing that shit since the first movie.
It's true.
Dog, he got hungry.
This time it's
true.
extra nasty though. Not only because it's on screen, but also because it's intercut with family dinner time at the Brackett house for extra gross out points. Eating dog is enough to trigger a music video sequence, I guess, so here's some more multiple Michaels and their black and white dead mom. Oh, and look, a spoopy Michael Myers skeleton? What the fuck, man? Did someone put Krampus and Eraserhead in a blender? Cause that's what this shit feels like. New little boy Michael tells his ghost mom that he's found his baby sister.
My baby.
And then some hands pop out of a table and Laurie wakes up from this Festival's production. Ladies and gentlemen, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. It's the day before Halloween now, and Michael Myers just walks straight through a road sign
Nothing
to get to
made
Haddonfield,
sense about
Illinois.
that.
Wonder if he's
Nothing.
headed to his old home, which Dr. Loomis is currently using as a backdrop for an interview, despite his publicist taking
Visually
issues with
cool,
I'm selling the
but
sizzle,
no, makes no
not the
sense.
steak.
it. Man, Loomis has become such a dick. And not even the fun kind. It's just uncomfortable now.
When I want your opinion, I'll beat it out of you.
Whoa, look, I'm down with fame-seeking Loomis, but maybe pump the brakes for a
Yeah.
minute, huh? While Loomis is actively making us dislike him, Laurie is reluctantly becoming less pleasant, because now she's having a dream/fantasy.
What they did to
with
Loomis
some
was
duct
an
taping
honest-to-God
Annie to a chair
crime.
Like Michael
Sorry.
did to Ronnie and slitting her throat with a knife. The movie once again veers into crazy, flashy music video territory. That ends with a Saw-looking fast-speed shot of Laurie in a coffin. For anyone who wanted Rob Zombie's Halloween to have more of his style in it, here you go. Are you happy now? At Rabbit in Red, the
No.
strip joint that once showcased Deborah Myers' talents, owner Big Lou has dancer Misty Dawn grind against his lap as he tells his hapless employee Howard to take out the trash. After recklessly flipping a cigarette near that gas tank, what the fuck, man? Howard goes to the dumpster where Michael Myers steps out and silently confronts him. Howard tries to act tough, but come on, dude, you're looking at the human form of Chernabog. What you about to do here? Get fucking choke-slammed, apparently, which knocks
Fucks
his ass
him
down,
up,
so Michael
stomps
can
his head
kill
in.
him by just stomping the shit out of his skull. Back inside, Lou is getting ready to bang Misty Dawn while
You're
dressed
gonna
as
fuck the Frankenstein monster.
He's good. That's good.
But the role-playing quickly ends after Michael walks into the office. Although Big Lou gets out a small gun, it doesn't deter Michael from walking up and landing another
He
choke
fucks
slam.
him
Misty
up.
flees the room as Lou gets a severe beatdown from Michael. He stumbles out of his office with a broken arm, and after bouncing around the walls a little bit, Michael bashes his head once more and he collapses to the undoubtedly filthy floor to die. Misty's by herself now, and you can call me an SJW if you want to be a dick about it, but I'm sick of Rob Zombie's Michael Myers murdering completely nude ladies all the time. It's gratuitous,
Yeah.
it usually sucks for the actress, and it gives me a ton more work to do since I've got to censor all the naughty bits. But Naked Misty is killed by repeated head slams into a mirror that leaves her a naked corpse. Great, let's get to Halloween already. On the big day in Haddonfield, Brackett
It's
reads
pointless,
through
too.
Loomis's
Why
book
is they
and gets
always
real
naked?
pissed
It's
about
just-
some of the pros. Geez, sorry if it's not Shakespeare, Brackett. He's actually pissed because Loomis chose to reveal the big Myers sibling secret in his latest book, The Devil Walks Among Us, which is fixing to be a big hit, judging by that line wrapped around the corner. Loomis is having a blast at the book signing until until he gets an angry patron in the form of Mr. Vanderklok, the father of Linda, who was killed in the last movie. Remember her? She was the naked chick Michael killed. No, not the first one, well, one of them anyway. The dude even tries to shoot Loomis before he gets ushered out by security. Damn, Loomis, you've made yourself some enemies in this
I wouldn't have minded if you shot him at that point.
Making more friends when he promotes the book on a talk show hosted by Chris Hardwick. Cause Sam, you just can't be that formal with Weird Al.
Mr. Weird. How are you, Al?
Please, Mr. Weird is my father. Lori discovers her relation to Michael from the book and has a meltdown.
He was
kind of
disrespectful to Weird Al too. Mr. Weird.
She heads over to Maya's house because, oh yeah, she's a character we kind of met before, and does a very poor job explaining the situation.
I don't mean you understand what the fuck I'm saying.
No, I do not. But she clarifies for her friends that she's Angel Myers, Michael's baby sister, and that it's all in Loomis's book for everyone to see. In response, Lori's looking to get fucked up and be a woo girl all night. And although Maya thinks that Lori just needs a mellow night in, Lori gets Haley on her side, and the two of them convince Maya to join them for their Rocky Horror costumes at this bitchin' Halloween party. Looks like a great time, full of festive drinks and creepy clowns and more naked ladies. What a shocker. At least that psychobilly music's pretty dope. Frank and Harley leaves the party with a wolf man and goes to a shaggin' wagon, so you know these two ain't long for this world. Damn, this dude's gonna try to bang Harley with his mask still on? Wolfman's got nards. Before they round another base, he steps outside to pee,
you made that
and while
joke.
he's out there, Michael attacks him and kills him with a single stab to the back. Pretty uncharacteristic of this Michael to not follow that stab up with like a dozen more, but I guess he sees
That might be
the
my least
runtime
favorite
and
kill.
realizes he's got to get a move on here. He
I forgot
busts
about
through
that
the
guy.
van to keep things going, then grabs Harley and chokes her to death, squeezing the life out of her as the scene intercuts with her oblivious friends dancing. They've got a rose-tinted world right now, but sadly, Harley's not safe from the trouble and pain. Lori ends up
Poor
so
Harley.
drunk that she loses track of Maya as well, and yet another
I actually thought Maya was
sequence
cute.
that turns into a Sherry Moon zombie music video again. Dead Deborah tells Lori that it's almost time for her to come home, and then she gets attacked by Michael. But turns out she was just having a freak out next to a big ol' stuffed bear. Maya finds Lori doing the Urson grind and yanks her out of the party to head back home. Meanwhile, at the Brackett home, Annie gets a call from her dad checking in on her because, you know, he loves her. Loves her so much, he's also sent a deputy there to watch over the house. But this dude, Deputy Neal, is killed pretty quickly by Michael Myers when he comes from behind a tree with a pipe thing. He kills the cop with a neck snap off screen.
Surprised
but
he didn't
don't
see
worry,
him.
we see the result of the kill later on in a close-up. Like Rob Zombie would have a non-graphic kill in this movie. Get on out of here. The vulnerable Annie is now getting ready for bed as what? Michael's ghost mom
His death
watches
was
her?
probably
Does that
pretty
make
underwhelming.
sense? Maybe it's because Michael's there in the house already. Man, Danielle Harris's Annie doesn't deserve to get brutalized again. She just went through that shit in the last movie. But after she sees Michael standing behind her and tries to run away in slow motion, that's exactly what happens to her. Although surprisingly, it's done off screen in audio-only form. Her screams playing out over shots of Maya and Lori pulling up to the house. After they get inside and head upstairs, the two of them find the results of Michael's attack and open the bathroom door to discover Annie's very bloody body on the floor. As Lori tends to her dying friend, Maya rushes downstairs to call the police. But after she steps out onto the porch to get the address, Michael yanks her back inside and slams her onto a table so he can kill her. He does so with the usual, a series of
Poor
vicious,
Maya.
angry knife stabs to the torso. I'll go ahead and say it. This is the scariest Michael Myers of all time. At the police station, Sheriff Brackett is informed that they just received a call from his house. And unfortunately, it's gonna be too late for him to get back there, because as Lori holds her in her arms and begs her to hang on, Annie dies from the wounds Michael gave her in the attack.
Bleeds out,
This
yeah.
character had a lot of emotional weight in the Rob Zombie films, thanks in
Yeah.
large part to Danielle Harris. And her death is one of the best parts of this movie because it's portrayed in such a seriously sad way. Props for that to everyone involved. Michael ruins the moment by
That's a
slamming
great
his way
moment,
through
yeah.
one of the bathroom doors, so Lori escapes out another door and manages to make her way outside to kick off, you fucking guessed it, another Halloween chase scene. While she and Michael run off into the light, Sheriff Brackett gets home and finds his daughter's body.
Dude.
It's a sad scene here, but the director's cut version is a lot more raw and powerful. You'll see in the cut
Yep.
comparison. After Lori makes her way out to a road and successfully flags down a dude
He
driving
loses
by,
his
puts her
shit.
inside his car only to get attacked by Michael and
I cried.
slam through his own
That
windshield.
you're not saying.
Michael then heave-hose the car up onto its side and flips it straight the hell over. God damn, sending it down into a ditch. And if the driver wasn't dead from all that, he definitely perishes in the ensuing fire. Like, for sure, there's an explosion and everything. But Lori was saved from that fire by Michael, who carries her into a random shack with his ghost mom and ghost younger self. But maybe they're not ghosts? Because Lori sees them too and
Stop
is literally
using
talking
Sherry
to them.
Moon Zombie in your movies.
You know who I am, Angel.
No, I do not. Their weird conversation gets interrupted by a spotlight from a helicopter, because the Haddonfield PD is here to bring this movie on home. Throughout all this, Loomis has been a little more self-reflective, rewatching his Nerdist interview and realizing how much of an arse he's been. When he sees on the news that police are currently in a standoff with Michael, he rushes out to be part of the movie's finale. He gets to the shack in record time, only to get decked by Sheriff Brackett
Well
for
deserved.
writing about Laurie's secret identity, and also because, you know, like his daughter just got killed. Loomis admits his wrongdoing and says that he's here to make amends, which he does so by rushing towards the shack like a madman. Looney Loomis is back, bitches! He walks into the shack to find whatever the fuck this is going on, although at least through his eyes, we get confirmation that Minnie Mike and Dedera are ghosts or whatever, since he can't see either of them. He tells Laurie to stop imagining things, like he's trying to get a TV network to stop airing a deadly commercial.
Stop it! Stop! 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 Stop!
Instead of stopping though, Michael attacks Loomis and straight up slashes the shit out of him. In fact, this is the end of Michael's ancient keeper. With a whole bunch of stabs, he murders Dr. Loomis once and for all. And murders him fucking good, dude. Is that
Yeah,
some
he
brain I
does.
see there? Yo, dog, that's some brain right there. Sheriff Brackett sees Michael through his rifle scope and takes the shot. And a few more shots send Michael stumbling back, where he falls onto some farm equipment that goes straight through his back and out the front. Take that, slayer of kitty cats, eater of dogs. In the quiet that follows, Laurie approaches Michael and tells him he's
Loomis.
an
They did.
asshole. Wait, what? You love him? And Michael doesn't even care. He's still trying to kill your ass with his last breaths. But he doesn't have the strength to do it, and instead, Laurie takes the knife from his hands and returns the favor, stabbing him in the chest.
Why'd she
times
say
while
that?
Yelling, die, die,
Like,
die, like so many horror
clearly, I
heroes
don't
and
find-
heroines
I don't
do
think
when
she
they're driven
loved
to
him.
murderous madness. With that, the Rob Zombie Michael Myers is dead. And that's a wrap on Tyler, everybody. Give him a hand. As Brackett
Tyler
watches
Main.
from the police line, Laurie steps out of the shack wearing the Michael Myers mask, which is probably somebody's fetish somewhere. Oh, actually, it's Steve's from the first movie. She kneels to the ground and, in exceedingly slow motion, removes the mask from her head. We get our first instance of the classic John Carpenter Halloween score in this movie as it fades into the final scene. Laurie in a whitewashed
There's ups and
hallway
downs to
sitting
both
on a
endings, from the
sanitarium
directors
bed. The movie
and
ends
the
with her looking up to see Deborah Myers and that
theatrical.
white horse coming at her, which causes her face to morph into one of those weird truth or dare smiles. For the 10th time, I ask you rhetorically, how many kills were in this Halloween movie? And for the 10th time, I answer for you. Let's find out and get to the numbers.
Yay! Naruto run it. All right.
19 people died in Rob Zombie's
Jesus.
Halloween 2, and his victims consisted of 12 men and 7 women. Oh, also, he ate a dog. Ain't no pie wedge for that shit, though. With a runtime of 115 minutes, we
Saddest
wound up
death
with
in
a
the
kill
movie.
on average just about every 6 minutes. I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to Gary Scott, who got his head sawed off with a piece of glass. I love a good decapitation, and this one is pretty brutal. Dull machete for lamest kill will go to Deputy Andy Neal, who got attacked out
I
of
agree with
nowhere
that.
by Michael
I
and had
agree.
his neck snapped. Where'd Mike even
I'm still
come
gonna give
from?
it to Andy,
And
though.
that's it.
Best.
Rob Zombie's Halloween 2
It was
came out
more
in
emotional.
2009, and for 9 years, it was the final Halloween movie. That just changed with the 2018 Halloween out in theaters now.
The
You can
saving
click up there
grace.
for my in-depth review of it, and it'll join this series after it comes out on Blu-ray.
Okay.
Until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been The Kill Count.
Okay.
Thanks a lot for watching.
Okay, so in the director's cut, Myers, he's having a conversation with his mom while the whole Loomis thing is like, no, stop it, wake up. And Sherry Moon Zombie's character, I can't remember her name for the life of me in the movie, says, all right, Michael, bring us home. And then Myers tackles Loomis through the wall, picks him up, rips his mask off, looking at him like with a pissed off face. And Loomis says something like, Michael, just go to hell, or something along those lines. And then Myers literally says, die to him and stabs him. So I like Loomis's death better in the theatrical one more because Myers doesn't talk. However, I like Myers' death more in the director's cut better than I do in this one because this one to me made no sense whatsoever. Like, was he not shot in the head or in the face in the last film? And I'm not even going to get into it. I'm not even going to get into it right now. Maybe I'll make a rant video for Patreon or something and talk about it in depth more about Halloween 2. But I just don't care for the movie. I understand why it's got a cult following. I understand why people are loving it as much as they are. It is very unique. I will give it that. It is the most unique film in the franchise. It has some very good Halloween feeling moments. The kills are brutal. Tyler Main is phenomenal. Brad Dourif is fucking fantastic. The performances are great. The director's cut of that scene when Brackett realizes that Annie is dead is way better in the director's cut. It is heartbreaking. It feels real and raw and just emotional. It feels like how a real parent would react to walking in on their child being killed. Like, he wouldn't know what to say. He'd be just cussing. He'd be losing it. He would be just completely in denial. Powerful moment. I agree with the kills. I think those are pretty solid kills. The decapitation was it was a really brutal death scene. I would have given it to either Annie or the nurse, though. I thought their deaths were a bit more brutal and memorable. But overall, I still agree with that. So comment down below, guys. Let me know your thoughts. What was your favorite and least favorite kill in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2? I'm curious to hear your opinions. Of course, comment down below. Like this video if you like this type of content. Share the content. We're aiming for 10,000 subs by the end of 2021. Let's see if we can do it. So until next time, movie friends, keep it retro, and I'll check you guys out in the next video. Take care.